Hello and welcome to your Week 4, Day 3 lecture. Please take notes today as this information will be important for the quiz tonight, but also for your trees project and every single one of the assignments after that. Today we're covering capitalization. So a trend that I've noticed and that others have noticed in technical writing is that a lot of writers tend to capitalize words that they feel are important. I'll let you read this quote on your own time. That is not the rule for capitalization. You should never capitalize words just because they feel important. I do have an additional list of reasons when you would not use capitalization. So again, do not use capitalization for emphasis. Do not use capitalization when referring to the direction. So I'm heading north. In that case, you would not capitalize the N in north. The exception to this rule is if you're referring to a specific geographical location. So the north, in that situation, you're referring to a specific location, so therefore you do capitalize it. A lot of the times with capitalization rules, it's easy to think of, yes, you do capitalize when you're referring to something specific, and no, you don't when you're referring to things in general. I'll complicate that rule in just a little bit, but that's kind of a helpful tool for thinking about capitalization. You do capitalize the names of the seasons. Excuse me, you do not capitalize the names of the seasons. And you do not capitalize for majors and subjects. The exception to that rule is if you're talking about a department. So say the mechanical engineering department, you do capitalize. However, if you say I'm a mechanical engineering major, then that would not be capitalized. You use capital letters for proper names, and so this is what you guys have learned since elementary school, so names of people, races, cities, etc. If this does not sound familiar to you, feel free to pause the video here and just look at this example a little bit more. You use capital letters for titles of offices when the title precedes the name of the person. So for example, the first one, Professor John V. Attenskoff, professor is capitalized here because it comes before the name of the person. Here though, a professor and a student, professor is not capitalized because it's not followed by the name of the person. So again, that refers back to that general versus specific rule. When you're referring to a professor in general, you do not capitalize it. However, when you're referring to the name of a professor and the word title professor goes before the name of the person, then you do capitalize it. You use capital letters for organization names and their products and services, so this should be helpful for tech writing. So for example, recently Apple Corporation introduced its Macintosh to compete with IBM's personal computer. Nothing is capitalized in the sentence, and so the correction to that would be what follows. You capitalize the A in Apple, the M in Macintosh, and the P and the C because IBM does own the PC acronym. You also use capital letters for references to most numbered or lettered items, specifically in a paper. So when you're saying figure 3, image 3, table 1, all of those would be capitalized. You also capitalize major parts of your paper, and this is going to be helpful for when we get to the recommendation report. Please do not forget that. So say you're referring back to your introduction, you're in your conclusion section, you're referring back to your introduction, then you can say, in my introduction, you saw blank, and then capitalize the I in introduction. You capitalize, headings and titles with capitalization can be quite tricky. There's a lot of rules to remember. My main takeaway from this slide is to err on the side of capitalizing your headings and titles, with the exception of 4 things. In titles, you lowercase articles. The 3 articles in the English language are a, an, and the. You undercase coordinating conjunctions, so those are what connect the sentence to the rest of it. So and, or, nor, but, they're all examples of connection words, coordinating conjunctions. And you undercase prepositions like to, from, and of. Additionally, this is a nitpicky one. You lowercase the word to, such as in learning to cook spaghetti. It functions as a verb helper, but in this case, you would undercase it. So those are the 4 situations when you would undercase in a title. Everything else should be capitalized, including the first and the last word of the title, regardless of their part of speech. So go ahead and practice. Pause the video here, look through this example, capitalize as many words as you think need to be capitalized. Try to practice this without looking at the next slide, and if you get this right, then you're going to do very well on the quiz. So here are the answers. A few things that I do want to point out. Chapter is capitalized. Even though it is an article, it's the first letter of the text itself. It's the first letter of the title itself, and so you're going to capitalize it. Same with the last one. Very interesting long chapter name. That is not capitalized because it's a conjunction. Same with and at the beginning here. U is capitalized. So don't think that you don't capitalize shorter titles or shorter words. A lot of people think that that's the rule. It's not the rule. U is a shorter word, but it is a pronoun, so you do capitalize it. Put directly below is not capitalized, and the reason for that is it's a preposition. The is an article, so you don't capitalize it, and chapter and title are capitalized. Finally, when you get into industry and you're doing some writing for a specific company, keep in mind that every company has its own style guide. You'll hear me say that throughout the quarter. For your trees project, Dr. Johnny White is using the style guide from Google to as his resource for writing itself. So Google's style guide, which I'm having you read for homework tonight, they say to treat your headings in the sentence case. What that means is you're only going to capitalize the first word of your headings. And so Dr. Johnny White does want you guys to do that when you're referring to your headings. When you get to your final recommendation report, I want you to use the proper capitalization rules. So again, the main takeaway overall about capitalization is always see what the job itself is doing and then go from there. Even though you're using sentence case in your headings for the trees project, please do not put a period at the end of the heading. And that's the way that readers are going to know the difference between your headings and your main text. That is all that I have for you today. Quick and short lecture. If you have any questions for me, please let me know. If not, please complete the capitalization quiz tonight by 8 p.m. Thank you.